What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Dundalk Trap Podcast. Interesting episode today. It's been really exciting. We got everybody on, and it's a very exciting weekend. College football playoff, NFL games that are very important. Ravens, Steelers, stuff like that. It's gonna be a fun weekend. But before we start, how you guys doing?
Doing good. Doing really good. You know, another bad day for me. Some people,
I didn't even. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot. It was a really bad day.
it
We
was a
still
bad.
finished up units. We still finished up units because the touchdown was plus 400.
It's some people say it's not surprising. I need to turn up,
I,
um,
I agree.
and I need to switch things around because I know I'm better than this.
I
And
agree.
this weekend, I
You're
think
gonna show that.
I'm gonna show it.
I think you're gonna prove it to Ray. Ray's been talking big trash to you, and I think you're better than him.
I personally think the same.
Say it with a straight face, Ben.
Oh, speaking of, we should. I'll do it, not Gio. We should get the record like set up
Yeah.
from the first video, just so we can start having them. I'll do it tomorrow or the next day, but I'll get them. And then next week we can talk about the records every time. So if someone's better than the other person, they can talk trash to them. But all right, I'll start with our bets today, or for Saturday rather, and I'll start with basketball, and then we'll move to college football and all those games. My first bet is St. John's plus 3.5. St. John's averages 79.5 points per game, which ranks 32nd in college basketball. They're very good. They're usually better at defense this year. They struggled a little bit defensively, but I don't see them having a problem with Seton Hall. Seton Hall scores just 67.6 points per game, which ranks 234th. That's nowhere near St. John's. I think St. John's is underdog because of games on the road, but like my past five college basketball bets, I think have been on the road. I'm like not a huge believer in that. I think road environment helps, but a gym like Seton Hall won't. It's just not the same as a kind of big time Power Five. So I think St. John's will get the ball inside to Joel Soriano, who's been great, and I think they win this game outright. But I would take plus 3.5 just to be safe.
It didn't play good. Um, my first play is College Charleston, minus 2.5 against Towson. College Charleston's been a great team this year, 13-1 on the year. Towson struggled. They're 8-5. They've lost four in a row. They start off good, but they've kind of flopped here down as of late. Um, Charleston has a lot of good wins like Chattanooga, Virginia Tech, Davidson, Kent State, so they can beat these good teams. They get 80 points a game. They shoot the three well. They shoot free throws well. They rebound well, which is probably their best quality. They're 30th in the country in rebounding. They play nine guys over 20 minutes a game, so they rotate guys in and out pretty frequently. They'll always be fresh and be able to run with Towson. And I just don't think Towson will keep up, and Charleston should pull away late.
All right, my first play for Saturday is Boston Bruins minus 1.5. Against the Sabres. Buffalo, they have been playing really good hockey recently, but Boston is a way better team all around than Sabres, especially at home. They're easily the best team at home in the league. I don't see this being a close game at all, even though Buffalo has been playing good. But if Boston plays good, they come off a really good win against the Devils, and of course, I had the Devils. Um, but yeah, I mean, Boston, they should definitely. If it's a close game, I see an empty netter at the end with Boston coming out two goal win, but I could see the Boston winning by 2 or 3 easily. So Boston Bruins minus 1.5.
What are the odds on that?
Now moving uh,
Minus
minus what?
102.
Oh,
That's what I
all
got.
right. The Sabres, I don't. I'll be honest. I don't watch enough hockey. What are the Sabres right now? I know the top teams, but not. Are the Sabres like one of the worst teams in the NHL?
No, they're like in the middle.
All right, I'll go. My favorite bet of the day for the all of college football. It's not in the playoffs, but it's an Alabama game. Ja'Cory Brooks over 62.5 receiving yards. Kansas State is middle of the pack against the pass. Bryce Young is playing, which will help Brooks' numbers go up. Brooks was the number one receiver all year. I don't think he regresses at all in this bowl game. Trayshawn Holden, who was like the 3 kind of. He was a starter. Will be out. He transferred to Oregon, entered the portal as soon as the regular season ended. And Ja'Cory Brooks has went over this total in 4 of his last 6. I'm not worried here. I think he goes over this handily, and this is my best bet for the day. So I would put more than one unit on it. I think Brooks finishes somewhere around 70 to 80 receiving yards and goes over this early in the fourth quarter, maybe late in the third.
Like that. My next play is going to be Villanova -2.5 against Marquette at home. Villanova is coming off a great, probably the best they've played against UConn. I mean, they looked pretty good. They fought hard and hung in there pretty good with a team that's blown out every opponent they've played this year. Villanova, they're looking better. They're getting used to the new coach, the new system. Cam Whitmore and Eric Dixon should handle the show here against Marquette on the road. Villanova needs this win, so I think they get it done. Marquette has struggled on the road. They're 1-2, so I don't think they'll be able to go into that environment and win against Villanova.
All right. My last play for Saturday is Michigan -7.5 against TCU. TCU overrated all season. They haven't played any real hard opponents. JJ McCarthy is going to have a day against his defense. Edwards is probably going to run for 150 plus. If Corum was in this game, if he didn't get hurt, easily 200 plus. Easy. I really like this. I think it'll be a close game, but by the end of the game, I can easily see Michigan pulling away and winning by 10 plus easily. So Michigan -7.5. I like it.
I like that play a lot. And the Corum part,
yeah,
I fully agree with. I thought there was somebody I knew who thought he was playing. So it's
yeah.
I don't know. It's big news, but that's a good bet.
Yep.
I might tail it. Ray, you said something about TCU earlier. Are you going against Gio with this one, or are you tailing him?
No, I think with what happened earlier, I'm not going to touch the game anymore. Might hit a live bet on Michigan if TCU goes up early. So
I think Corum might have crutches and drop 200. So we'll see.
Yeah, we could see. I have one more after this. Ohio State first half team total over 13.5. The only scare with this bet is Georgia's only allowed more than this once, and that was to Missouri. I just feel like Ohio State is meant for a similar start in this game that they had to Michigan. Against Michigan, they came out and looked really, really good. Things were clicking, and then second half they fell apart. I think that's what will happen in this game. I think they lose by double digits, but I think in the first half, everybody's kind of shocked because Ohio State competes. Ohio State has the personnel to compete with Georgia. Georgia's defense is just that much better. I think Ohio State scores 2 touchdowns in the first half. Everybody's betting the under on this. Nobody thinks Ohio State will score 2 touchdowns in the first half against Georgia. CJ Stroud is a better quarterback than what we've seen so far this year, and I think he comes out in the college football playoff, which, I don't know. I don't like Ohio State, but it would not surprise me if they were more competitive than everybody thought. So I like Ohio State over 13.5 in the first half.
Yeah, especially with the line movement, I think Ohio State can actually hang around in that game more than people think. My next play is Alabama -6.5 against Kansas State. I think they do take this game seriously. I think Bryce Young playing tells you that, because if they weren't, I think he would sit out. But he's not going to go in there for nothing. So I think they come out mad over how they ended the year and missed the playoff for the first time in a while. They get 487 yards a game of offense. Their defense only allows the 32nd most yards in the country, so they're pretty balanced. And this K-State team, 10-3, they're vulnerable. They have Will Howard, inexperienced quarterback, so I think they can get him to turn the ball over, hopefully, and rely on their balance, all 3 phases of attack to run up the score. Though I think this might be like a 20-point game, to be honest with you. I think just Bama comes out, Saban has them ready to make a good end of the year and go into next season strong.
Since Gio doesn't have another bet, I'll give my last one for tomorrow. This is one that I wouldn't put a ton on it, but I do like this. You know, both of the guys in here did not ride my last touchdown bet. They acted like they did. They're bozos. Forget it. This one is another banger. Darnell Washington, anytime touchdown. It's only plus 220, I think, but Ohio State has given up touchdowns to tight ends in 3 straight weeks, including 2 of the last 3 were to the second tight end listed on the depth chart, or like their tight end number 2, basically. And that is what Darnell Washington is for Georgia. Everybody's betting Brock Bowers. His anytime touchdowns minus 140. Brock Bowers is amazing. He's going to be a really good tight end in the NFL. However, we know what happens when the entire world is betting on somebody. I think, like I said, Georgia gets their tight ends involved near the goal line, and Ohio State's, like I said, giving up a ton of touchdowns to tight ends this year, especially teams who use tight ends. And Georgia uses their tight ends more than almost anybody in the country. So I like Darnell Washington anytime touchdown at plus 220.
All right. My last Saturday play is going to be New Mexico's minus 3.5 against Wyoming. These teams are kind of polar opposites. New Mexico plays in a pace, high scoring, and Wyoming is like more of a slow pace. They draw out possessions, use a lot of the clock. But I think New Mexico can play with them, if not make the pace their game. If not make the game their pace. They're undefeated on the year. Wyoming's lost 3 in a row. New Mexico has 3 guys that score 15 points a game. So I think, Wyoming won't be able to hang with them, and they should keep their undefeated season alive.
All right. Well, that is it for Saturday plays. Gio, you were talking big earlier. You want to start the NFL?
Oh yeah. Me and Ray, we had our we were going at it last weekend. No, that wasn't last weekend. It was a weekend or 2 ago. I know we had the Dolphins and the Bills. We all knew who won that bet. And we also had, what was it, the Lions and who was it?
Zach fucking Wilson. Last minute. Yeah, but I'm not a bluffer, so I don't pull out.
We all know who won that. So I already know what he has, but I'm coming out hot with this one. Vikings money line plus 150. Everybody's on the Packers when there's such a good December team. I don't care. The Vikings are going to come in the Lambeau and show them how it's done. Especially, I was looking at this. I was like, yeah, they're plus 3. No, as soon as Ray said he was on the Packers, I said, oh, no, I'm taking money line. Kirk Cousins, it's not a 1 o'clock game. It's 4:25. Everyone's like, no, he's going to come in there and drag his brass balls all over Lambeau and go dumb against the Packers. Vikings money line plus 150. It's a smoker. 4:25 Eastern time in Lambeau. Lock it in.
Oh, what's your response to that, Ray?
I'm just gonna go Packers. I'll lay the 3 if Gio wants. But we can do straight money line if he wants to. If he's so
I'll take the 3. I'll take the money line. I'll take over on Kirk Cousins. I'll take over on Dalvin Cook. I'll take over on Justin Jefferson. I'll do whatever.
That's a good job naming more than 3 players on the team. Look, the Vikings have had the most 1 possession games all year. Every game is 1 possession. They barely squeaked out a win last week against the Giants. Every week they get everything in their power to go down to everything at the end of the game to go in their favor. And I just think Rodgers in a must-win game, they have the momentum. He is not losing to the Vikings twice. Okay, Vikings got the week 1 win. Great. In Lambeau in December, 4:25 game, must win for Rodgers to keep the playoffs alive. Look, he didn't give a fuck early in the year. He's kind of turned it on after he's like, oh, I can get in. So I think he's going to come out against the feeble Vikings defense. Feeble. They can't stop the run. They give up big pass plays on play action. That's what Rodgers does best. I see Watson getting some touchdowns this game. He's a great touchdown scorer. I think he can get two. Maybe Lazard too. I love Aaron Jones this week. Everybody. I think it's a high scoring game. Maybe back and forth. Give Gio a little excitement so it's not a total blowout for him. But I think Rodgers, game winning drive. I'm calling game winning drive at the end in Lambeau.
All right.
Wow. All right. Well,
Opposite. When I'm envisioning this game, I can clearly see it right now. Kirk Cousins is going to drive down in Lambeau, and they're going to win by 3. Field goal to win it.
Have you watched Kirk Cousins before?
Yep.
In a big game?
Yep.
Maybe they can bring Blake Corum and fill in Dalvin Cook if he gets hurt because he's injury prone too.
Yeah. I was so envisioning that same exact thing. I was really thinking about that.
Yeah.
But as soon as I know Ray's on, as soon as I know Ray loves a bet, I fade.
all right. Well, moving on to my bet, my first NFL bet of the day. The best thing that I got from both of your guys' points there, we're not going to lose this.
Yeah,
we'll win money here.
We'll at least get one win on the TikTok.
We'll get one win. Exactly. We will have one win. And Gio's been hot in the NFL, so I think Gio might take you down, right?
He's rolling eyes. He's eyes, but I'm making profit on the NFL so far.
Finally, that's something you make profit on.
Yeah, college basketball is really good.
It is.
We'll keep going at it.
I like that. All right. Well, my first NFL bet of the day, mine are mostly props. James Conner over 73.5 rushing yards. Atlanta struggles against the run. They're allowing 133.5 rushing yards per game, which ranks 24th. Arizona's going to give the ball to Conner a ton. This isn't going to be a blowout, I don't think, as long as the game stays close. Or even if Arizona takes the lead and goes up a bunch, James Conner will get carries. 73.5 is a number he's went over in 3 of the last 4. As long as he gets regular carries, which he should, and I don't see any chance he doesn't, because I don't think Atlanta wins this game by 17 or 10 plus. I just don't see that happening as long as it's a close game. Conner should go over this. And like I said, I think Arizona could take a lead in this game if they're up. They're going to run the ball, run clock. Their quarterback situation is atrocious. And James Conner's actually played well when given the ball. So I think he's went over like 15 carries in 3 of his last 4 as well. So if they give him 15 carries, they'll have 74 plus rushing yards.
I thought Ray was up. All right, my bad. All right, my second play for Sunday. Commanders minus 2.5 against the Browns. Commanders really need this win. Keeping the playoff race. I know everybody. Carson Wentz is starting. Look. The Browns are a feeble football team. No, if anybody likes the Browns on this game, I don't know. I probably Ray likes them because he's really good with his NFL stuff. But look, they need this win to keep in tight in the playoff race. They're in Washington. If they were in Cleveland, they're in Washington. Carson Wentz is going to drag his brass balls in Washington. And look, they should win this game by 3 or more easily. They should easily win this game by 3 or more. So Commanders minus 2.5. I like it a lot. It's a smoker, and I see it hitting.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to throw a little money on Cleveland, but we'll see. My next pick is Carolina plus 3.5 against Tampa. I don't think that this Bucs team should really be favored by more than a field goal against anybody, especially in a big division game to basically decide the division. If Carolina wins this, they control their own destiny, but the Bucs also do the same. So I think if at worst it's a field goal game by Brady, I think I can see him, leading a game-winning drive like he has so much this year. But Carolina's coming off a dominant win against the Lions. They looked really good. Sam Darnold has not turned the ball over. in his short stint with the Panthers. I like how he's playing. I think they run the ball a lot. That rotation of backs like Foreman and Chuba Hubbard. Wear down the defense and do just enough to hang in this game. I think it's a low scoring game, which is why I'm also on the under. So I think it's like a 2017 type game, close division game to decide the division in December. So I like that a lot.
My next NFL play is Patrick Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns at plus 130. I just wouldn't let it pass. I think Mahomes has done this so much in his career, including the last time they played against Denver. It was a close game. The Chiefs always remember their tight games. They will try to run the score up, I think, this week. He went over this, like I said before, in their last matchup with Denver. He wants the number 1 seed. They need a win. They don't run the ball a ton. Look for them to try to run the score up and Mahomes to throw for 3+ passing touchdowns.
All right, my next play is Chargers minus 6.5. I feel like the public's going to be all over the Rams, especially coming off the blowout win that they had. But Chargers, much better team than the Rams. Baker is going to be feeble as he usually is. No one likes Baker. He blows. Justin Herbert, he's going to show him how it's done. They should easily win this game by a touchdown or more, easily. Especially, I think they're at home, but if they want to make a statement going into the playoffs, I really think they need to win this game by at least a touchdown or more. So I really like Chargers minus 6.5.
Okay. My next play is going to be the Falcons minus 6 at home against the Cardinals. The Cardinals just announced they're starting David Blau. Like, who the hell is that? I think this is going to be a shit show of a game. I like how the Falcons played against the Ravens last week. They hung in there, had a chance to win the game. If some calls went their way, but the Ravens found a way. Good for them. Ran the ball finally a little bit. But I think the Falcons dominate this game. I just think the Cardinals laid it all out there against the Bucs and still fell short. And then the downgrade of QB again this week, like they've gone from Murray to McCoy to McSorley, now on Blau. I just think they're done trying to get the offseason healthy. I just think they come out flat, and Ritter, gets his first NFL win.
My next NFL play, Tyreek Hill over 74.5 receiving yards. Also, I would take it 100+ receiving yards, plus 230. That's a steal with Tyreek Hill. He's second in the NFL in receiving yards, and he's been great all year. Bridgewater, in both games with Bridgewater as a starter, Hill went for 160+ receiving yards, which is insane. Bridgewater is not a good quarterback. He'll be trying to throw to Tyreek Hill whenever he can, and the worst quarterback in the NFL are still made, make plays when they throw the ball to their best receivers. Hill will be so wide open, it won't really matter. Patriots, have this good defense and all this, but they're like middle of the pack in opponents' receiving yards per game. Hill will break 1 or 2 long catches, and I think he goes over this handily. And we could see him go for 150+ like he had previously with Bridgewater. So I'm going Tyreek Hill over 74.5 and also 100+ at plus 230.
All right, my first prop is Gesicki anytime touchdown. It's like I saw it on DraftKings, so it was like plus 700. I don't really know. I mean, I have an idea why it's such a high odds, but since he hasn't done much the past couple games, but last time Bridgewater was in, he was throwing the ball to Gesicki all the time. He scored 2 touchdowns. I think when backups come in, they love their tight ends. They love their short little passes. So the value of this bet, I really like it. Gesicki anytime touchdown. It should hit. It's a smoker. It is a smoker. I think it's my highest odd bet I've put on here yet. So
I would hope so.
It boosts up the unit. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that actually, I do like that, Gio. I mean, that is surgical of you to go in there, look at the past weeks finally, and find a good stat you like. That's good. Yeah.
Sorry.
My next play is the Patriots minus 2.5. At home, I think they cause Teddy Bridgewater to have multiple interceptions. I just think the December dive for the Dolphins continues. They have lost what 4 or 5 in a row. I mean, they have not played good. I think this Tua injury just puts the cherry on top, and the Patriots need this win. They can sneak in here to the playoffs. Everyone's kind of off them. They're not on anybody's radar, but they fought back hard in that game against the Bengals. Could have won if Ramondre Stevenson didn't fumble the game away. Mac Jones had a little incident with his dirty player issues, but I think he does just enough. Hopefully, Matt Patricia, doesn't do a screenplay on 3rd and 25. But I think this defense is the big reason why they can win this game. So I think they can create good field position, run the ball, and game management, and win this game. Oh, they should win this game. I mean, it's a backup quarterback, so I like this.
Oh yeah, in that game I would lean the Patriots, but the Patriots fucking suck, so I wouldn't. Ray's it's a lock for Ray though. My next play parlay. I wanted to just do Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown by itself, but the odds weren't good enough. So I added Giants money line, and it's now plus 116. Giants money line and Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. Saquon scored 4 of his last 5. The Giants playing the Colts, who literally are tanking. They're horrible. Saturday's been terrible as a coach, and they want a higher pick. If they win, their odds go down. So I think they're going to go out and lose this game and get annihilated. Nick Foles has already been announced that he's starting again. Wink Martindale will draw up a ton of blitzes, and they will get pressure on Nick Foles, and he'll struggle just like he did last week. So I think the Giants win this game handily, and I also think Saquon Barkley gets another touchdown. Like I said, he scored in 4 of the last 5 games. He's their best player. They need to win this week to get into the playoffs, and they'll rely on their best player. So anywhere near the goal line, Barkley will have carries.
All right, my next prop is Justin Fields over 75.5 rushing yards and anytime touchdown. I think the anytime touchdown odds were plus 100 last time I looked. He went way over this total last time he played the Lions, and the Lions are feeble against dual threat quarterbacks. I think they're going to be one of them come out hot, especially after a heartbreaking loss the last time these teams played. So I really like his rushing yards, and I really like his anytime touchdown because that's really Justin Fields is only really he's only thrown on offense. So if they really have any chance in this game, I really like these props.
Yeah, I like that too. Sticking in that game, I'm taking the over 52.5. This is a high total for the NFL, but I mean these defenses could not stop a parked car. I mean, we saw it last week with Detroit and the run. I mean, I bet Detroit. I mean, what the fuck was that? They let that bad Carolina offense. Well, not bad, but they shouldn't be putting up the points they did easily. 33-yard run here, 20-yard run here, 15-yard pass here, and the Bears defense is not good either. Jared Goff has been a good quarterback this year. I think this is like a 30-27 type game, really high scoring, back and forth. I think it's tight, so they don't, run the ball at the end. So I do like this over.
My second to last play, Donovan Knight, over 57.5 rushing yards. The matchup is the main reason. Seattle has the second worst run defense in the NFL, allowing 155.2 rushing yards per game. He went over this in the first 3 games, his first 3 career NFL games, until Zach Wilson took over. In those 2 games with Zach Wilson, he went under this total. Mike White is back this week. With White back, I think Knight has a big day. Seattle, like I said, the second worst run defense. He should run all over them. They're going to give him opportunity. He's been very good in his opportunity this year. He's more of a versatile back, but I think with the Jets, this is a must-win game. You're going to play matchups, and against a bad run defense, you'll hand the ball off a ton. So I like Donovan Knight over 57.5 rushing yards.
All right, my last play for the football slate: Cam Akers over 69.5 rushing yards. The Chargers are the 20 ranked. They allow 140.5 yards rushing per game, which is 26th ranked in the NFL. I think Baker, he's looked good with the Rams, but they're really going to try to establish a running game with this, and it's going to giving Akers the ball should easily go over this total without giving the pressure on Baker. So I really like Cam Akers over 69.5. They're going to have to establish a run game to stay in this game. So it's a smoker. It's my last smoker of the weekend. Look, I'm looking to make profit this weekend. It has been a bad couple days. It has been a bad couple days. And look, when we come back on Monday, I'm hoping it's going to be, yep, look what Gio did. Boom, made profit for the trap. And that's what I'm looking forward to do. And that's what's going to happen.
I fully respect that.
Yep.
Fully respect that.
Ray, what do you think about that?
I like it.
Yep.
I think you really did your research on that one. That was good.
It was
Stat line fits. I mean, he had a good week last week against normally good Broncos defense. So I like that for you, Gio. I think you're getting another positive week. I see it coming.
I need it. I need it desperately. So
yep. What do we got here? My last play is gonna be the Niners minus 9.5. Kind of another similar thing with the Cardinals. I just think this Raiders team, with all that's happened to them this year, they had that high expectations after the playoff run last year. And the shit show of Derek Carr at the end of the year. His performance last week on Saturday Night Football against the Steelers was terrible. Or Sunday Night Football, yeah. I just think after that change, Stidham against this Niners defense, they play hard no matter what. I think they might score under 10 points this game. It'll just be bad. The Raiders defense is nothing special. They don't stop the run well. Brock Purdy has looked good. I think McCaffrey has a big day. The backup has a big day because it's a blowout. And I just think they can cover this number pretty easily.
I have two more, but I'm just gonna say them together because the same game. I couldn't go putting a Ravens bet in. Gus Edwards over 39.5 rushing yards. Edwards has gone over this in 6 of his 7 games that he's played this season since returning from injury. One of those games against the Pittsburgh defense, which everybody raves about, but the Ravens ran all over them the last time they played. With them being good against the run, I'm not worried. Gus will fall forward like he always does, and 40 rushing yards from Gus I just think it's a guarantee. I wouldn't leave it there. And then my other bet for this game, Demarcus Robinson over 32.5 receiving yards. While Pittsburgh's good against the run, they suck against the pass. They're allowing 232.4 passing yards per game, which ranks 22nd in the NFL. Robinson went over this in 2 of his last 4. He didn't go over this in the last 2 games, but the last 2 games were the weather stuff. And the third 3 games ago, when he did go over it, it was against Pittsburgh. I don't think 32.5 is a big enough number for him. The Ravens passing offense is one of the worst in the NFL, without a doubt. But if you watch, Huntley will stare Demarcus Robinson down consecutive plays, and I think Robinson goes over this number. With that being 32.5 and Gus being 39.5, I think those numbers are way too low. I know it's a rivalry. I know defenses will come to play, but I like both of them at that small of a number, and I think both of them cash pretty handily. But if you guys have any other plays.
What side do you think the Ravens will win that game, Ben?
Yeah. You don't?
No, I do. Yeah, well, we'll see.
What do you think about the prop? You don't think Gus will have 40 rushing yards?
I like Dobbins.
No, I do like that. I do because they play.
You
him
like Dobbins? Yeah.
I like Dobbins. I don't know what it's placed. I don't know what it's at,
57.5.
57.
57.5.
He should run all over them. He did last time out. I mean,